Hello and welcome everyone to the ArcGreen CPW, the Community Progressing Workshop. We mainly do this on TikTok for everyone that wants to attend, but naturally also we do dual stream it currently to Twitter for everyone who wants to listen in or later on just listen in to the recording to have a quick access on this. Before we get into the really hot topics around this show, I will go a little bit and just do a very, very quick base introduction for people who don't know what ArcGreen is. And we will keep it very concise today. So, ArcGreen is a deepin project, and this is composed under the vision and topic in ArcGreen of decentralizing the energy grid and the energy network in a very, very broad sense. Our core product line is around solar panels or like solar panel monitoring on residential homes, where you can get a smart meter from ArcGreen, the CSP. And this smart meter is a very affordable price. We also do every other week we do a show around selling devices, and there I also show more about these devices, but today we will keep it rather short. The CSP is a smart meter that as a solar owner you can install, and you can track your solar and get it added like Web3 rewards for it. It's a deepin infrastructure network. A part of this is also converted and fractionized into remote miners for the other people that don't have solar, so they can also get hold of a fractionized asset like this, and then you get like 100-watt kind of remote miner that gives you also the same rewards and benefits as if you had solar. Those are two core products. So on the one side, the solar owners, and on the other, the digital participants. We also have a smart plug that does consumption tracking. Also a very affordable product in this deepin world. You get rewards for tracking the consumption, but also added benefits and rewards for doing voluntary carbon offset on it and unlocking extra rewards in like a gamified system. Those are main products. There are many small other things, but then it all comes down to Green BTC, where we offset all the historic emissions of Bitcoin. And this is like a gamified way to pack everything together. And where if you have a remote miner or a CSP miner, you can do offset there. You can also do external offset, like with just connecting a wallet to it, and participate in daily incentive pools or in weekly campaigns. And we have a lot of things going on there. We will go into those details a little bit later, because like this kind of show, like every second week roughly, is the CPW. Here we speak about the latest progressions in the ecosystem. So this is why I kept the introduction rather short. Now, the most important parts, like we have a recap already. It's not yet the full first quarter recap, but it's basically February recap for ArcGreen Network, where we pack together a little bit the things that have happened in the new year. And we are already focusing heavily on the development line for this year. Currently, we sit on the network at about 191,000 nodes. Like the digital miners, the network strength is currently 191,600 and something. Like it's rather big. The total energy assets that we have issued on chain so far are 143 gigawatts, which is quite a milestone. If we compare this to early of last year, we had big growth in two waves. At the start of 2024, there was a wave, then in the middle, and then towards the end, now leading to February, we have a quite substantial growth, because in the later half of last year, we launched more CSPs, and then it transitioned to the smart plug, basically, to the PGP era. All those things accumulate together. Transaction record is already boasting well over 1.1 billions, and we have over 53,000 art issuance transactions. This is kind of crazy if you think that all those art issuances always come from all our products. Like people that own 2 remote miners would do an art issuance on a day, but even people with over 300 remote miners, they would also do art issuance a day. And then if you spread this out around all our user pools, thinking about that usually a user can only issue art once a day or once every 24 hours, then having like 53,000 is rather impressive. This is quite a growth, not just from last year, but something that steadily goes up. I think that different art issuance incentives campaigns have helped there also, naturally. For everyone that is part of the art green ecosystem, always a very important reminder. Issue your art as often as possible, once on a day. You don't miss any ART by doing it once a week and then doing 7 days, but it's much smarter to issue them one by one and maybe even each day, because every day you get positioned in the rank, like on the Arc Green dashboard, on the console, on the left side, you go to rank. If you issued art that day, you will be positioned in that rank and qualify for bonus rewards. And generally to issue your art as often as possible, not just for the art issuance campaign, but also to use them in Green BTC. There is a growing adoption, which is important, especially with the markets being in kind of a turmoil currently. Generally, all the blockchain related and Web3 assets do not quite perform as everyone wanted them to perform. But for ArcGreen, ArcGreen always has a plan B, plan C, and plan D. That means like now, when the markets are rough, we even ramp up the development more. So there is a big focus on product development and certain aspects. Green BTC node system is basically full in effect. We went into the Green BTC node sale round 1. They sold out in roughly 2 hours or less. Those nodes are now currently being used and they are participating in the impact campaign, but also in the node campaign. And here we saw that already 5 nodes completed to 100%. They were completely greened and offset, which means like not only the users participated and used the nodes, but also the node owners basically got all their pre-allocation back from greening, like the passive greening model there worked. Naturally, they also got all the play to impact rewards that you get from Green BTC. 5 already completed to 100%, and the next 3 are really keeping up in the percentage each day. It's kind of interesting that in the first time there was some focus excitement around the nodes, and now it becomes a game of distribution between the nodes, but also pushing them to completion. And now we see a natural order there developing and getting sorted out. With the ongoing node round 1 in greening, we also introduced the pixel mode, like the first iteration of the pixel mode, which is now important that we already had the node sale round 2 going. We pushed the pixel into the live stage with a special 2 weeks incentive around it and a lot of things happening there. It well passed 50%. And people drew all kind of things on the map. But now it is like we saw the concept, the first concept stage, but already while in deployment and while actively working, even before the 50% mark, already adoptions and changes were done on back end to the new version. For the next update on pixel mode, it will be much faster and much cooler. You can pick a bigger canvas, and you can also already allocate in the canvas different colors and draw them above each other. You can basically do a multicolored setup. Hello Stefan, thank you for joining. It's always nice to get some support. When you made your decision, then you can do the transaction to paint them all. Status like Stefan Steckdosenauto, who just joined here. He also painted like other users on the map, and we both had this issue that because you're trying to be smart with your moves and with the time you put in and your allocation and counting pixels of what you want to draw, maybe something similar happened to Stefan too, where you suddenly like just confirming processes and then you pick the wrong color. Stuff like that. The pixel mode will be updated soon and get this kind of improvements to basic. So this is the part from the green nodes leading to the pixel mode and also being focused around the updates. Also, we see now that next the transition is coming to change the play to impact pool instead of acre distribution to credit distribution, which is very important because those credits function as a mechanism towards the TGE of Green BTC. And it has many things. Like on the one side, you will be earning more for the TGE on Green BTC, on the new ecosystem specific token there. And on the other side, it will limit the daily distribution of Acre token to ramp up and to build scarcity again. This is like, by no means this is everything that is being done on the token. It's just a necessary structural step now. We have to slowly revise and adopt the mechanics of the tokenomics, because with tokenomics, on the one side, always want to be true to your tokenomics and not make major changes, but on the other side, you have to react to the market. And this is like one of these situations, like this is a building step towards a healthier ecosystem, to develop different routes in this project, and also to bring back a focus on ART, because we need to improve the value and the retention churn of the Acre token to make it more healthy for the people that earn like sort of the miners. But also we need to drive more adoption to Green BTC and on-chain offset to bring ArcGreen to the forefront of energy deepen. It needs users to do the offsetting part with the ART. So we're pushing the focus on ART, and after TGE of the new Green BTC currency, this will become a new loop, be very important as a factor for the multi-chain approach that Green BTC in future will have. The Solana wallet being integrated, and with the Solana wallet. And this will also include a different chain, a very well-known chain, which I also have to keep something for next time. But yeah, I have obviously already seen and worked with the live demos on Solana. So Solana is pretty much everything is working, from issuance factors to other parts. Now, the interesting part is that I already saw a demo from the development team for a different other chain that is equally as prominent, at least, as Solana. I was very impressed because the team keeps to adopting faster. Everything basically works differently on Solana, and it has a lot of challenges. And so Solana needed a fair amount of time to complete. But now I was rather surprised that this other chain, which is not exactly also too similar. It's a little bit easier than Solana, but still vastly different. This was adopted rather fast. Those will be the examples for the multi-chain approach to incorporate different things into Green BTC and sort of expand the flywheel. You know, the old flywheel was remote miners, solars, power plugs, everything on the flywheel together with Green BTC. Now, slowly Green BTC moves more in the middle of the flywheel as the aggregator for all the different things. The flywheel will be kind of a dual flywheel, because how I imagine it in simple terms is that next we have kind of Green BTC as a driver, as the engine in the middle. Then around this we have all the ArcGreen relevant products like the CSPs, all the apps, all the Telegram things, and the remote miners, and all those kind of products, which also will get the battery. We have a second wheel around this, and this second wheel will be other blockchains. There are different solutions to multi-chain approaches like wormholes and whatnot, but integrating the multi-chain facet on this level as a native into the project, and having basically not just an activity flywheel, but also a liquidity and incentive flywheel around all these products should push a lot, and also give us the chance to isolate the value of the different tokens and balance things out, and ultimately get more value to all our miner owners as soon as we have the first other blockchains on there and we can ramp up the greening on Green BTC. Then it will kind of give a kickback to everything, which means not just like, because better rewards for the users mean of course also more self-promotions by the users, hopefully, more good tone. We can get more chains on board. It's easier to get other chains, investors, partners, and collabs on board for Green BTC if we made the first standing examples. And I think Solana and the other chain that is currently almost finished being worked on will set a very good example for this and make this exciting. Now, what else? Yes, we have done the first integrations for the Home Assistant platform. I personally am a little bit late on our development team because our development team has basically completed everything for me and given me all the snippets. Now I needed to brute force something in my home on my setup and have to re-onboard my Home Assistant and do the first testing. I also have to give some initial feedback, and then we will probably in the next step hopefully I can do it this week, and I'm so excited about the Home Assistant integration. Then hopefully greenlight it, but I have to give my feedback and do a first review. And then I want to actually identify 2 to 3 people in community. Hopefully we will still later need to talk about different incentives around it, but as a forefront, this is a mechanism to give an alternative to smart meter setups, but also maybe as a thank you for sharing the live. It's kind of a verification mechanism, but ultimately also for people that cannot use the smart meter, an alternative. We have to see what else we can do interesting around this other than just parsing the data. We need to find a method to make users use also the Home Assistant integration and then use this as a pitch to the Home Assistant broader community, because especially on the CSP side, it's a very sophisticated product and you need to find the right people. A big community of solar owners on a Home Assistant community. We want to make the bridge and also find interesting new value items because of this interconnectivity. We improved the ART issuance. On the back end, arbitrary energy amounts are fixed, which means in the past when it was also that, for example, something on the ART issuance engine crashed, and you would maybe not get the total amount of ART issued that you qualify for this day, then often users said, my ART is not enough, can you check? Now this was all improved in a very smooth way. The next change of the next ART issuance campaign, like you will see, this gets now more stable. Some people know that we have the battery bank program for the homeowner battery for solar people. And there we are already in the stage of the data acquisition system. We have some good progress here. And we are also waiting for some specific certifications because this battery gets more certifications than the previous product of that manufacturer. In EU, all those things are very specific and also need to be adjusted for different EU countries. And there's still the certification process ongoing, but also the back-end development is progressing there.